What if the one thing you were born to do is standing right in front of you right now, and you don't even see it? You were chosen to open this portal. And I don't mean a fantasy doorway in the clouds. I mean a real energetic threshold that only your soul can unlock. It's not a coincidence you're hearing this. Portals are not random. They are invitations, sacred openings that appear in your life, disguised as moments you can easily ignore. But this one is yours. Ancient Tibetan scrolls spoke of hidden gates, thresholds between worlds that could only be seen by the inner eye when a soul reached a precise frequency. Edgar Cayce described them as initiations, moments when the soul is tested, not by grand visions in the sky, but by the small, almost invisible shifts in the rhythm of your own life. And yet, here's the truth no one tells you: most people miss them. They're looking for fireworks when the real sign is the subtle click inside, that feeling that something deep in you just shifted. The window is open right now, but it won't stay open forever. This is not a story. This is not theory. This is a call. And if these words are hitting you somewhere deeper than your mind, then you've already stepped into the edge of it. The question is, will you recognize it before it closes? Because once it closes, it doesn't reopen in the same way again. If this theme is already tugging at you, if some part of you is leaning forward without even knowing why, make sure you don't miss what's coming next. Subscribe now so you can walk with me through this discovery, because this is only the doorway. Today, we're going to explore how to recognize the silent call of the portal meant for you, the signs most people overlook, and the precise way your own energy begins to change when that opening appears. We'll connect ancient maps of these gateways with modern neuroscience, so you'll not only feel the truth of it, you'll understand it. And when you do, you'll be ready to step through without fear. In the next section, we're going to go much deeper into the subtle emotional and vibrational indicators that tell you a transition point is near, and how to stop mistaking them for failure. That's where the real shift begins, recognizing the silent call of the portal. You've felt it before, that strange pull in your chest that doesn't match the events of your day. A restlessness without reason, a quiet whisper in the back of your mind telling you that something is shifting even if nothing around you has changed. But what if the most powerful truth was hiding where you never thought to look? These are not coincidences. They are markers, subtle emotional and vibrational indicators that the threshold is near. When your soul approaches a portal, it rarely announces itself with grand visions or cosmic explosions. More often, it begins with discomfort. You find yourself questioning choices you once felt certain about. Colors seem more vivid one moment, then muted the next. Relationships feel strangely lighter or heavier without warning. And here's the part most people misunderstand. They see this discomfort as failure, as something breaking down. But the truth is, something is breaking open. Let me explain. Joe Dispenza calls these moments quantum potentials, points in your field where infinite realities are available, but only one will take root based on the frequency you're holding. Think of it like standing at a crossroads where every path is invisible, except for the one that matches your current vibration. If your inner state is scattered, the portal stays unseen. If your heart and mind begin to align, the edge of it flickers into view. You've seen it before, you just didn't know how to read it. That argument that made you rethink your role in someone's life, the sudden desire to walk a different way home, the dream that felt more real than the morning that followed. These are not accidents, they are alignment signals, and the more you attune to them, the more the unseen edges of the portal begin to sharpen. Pause for a moment. Bring to mind a time when life felt slightly off, like you were in a familiar room, but the furniture had been rearranged. That sense of strangeness is a clue. Your field is adjusting. Your frequency is brushing against a new layer of reality. And if you can hold your awareness steady in that moment, instead of rushing to fix or label it, you begin to feel the gravity of the portal drawing you closer. Before we go further, leave your mark here with one word that captures the energy you feel as you're hearing this. Maybe it's alignment, maybe it's courage, maybe it's awakening. Write it in the comments, so it's anchored not just in you, but in this shared space, because the next part will take us deeper into the ancient maps of these gateways and how civilizations long before us charted their patterns with stunning precision. We'll see how they connect not only to the stars, but to the very way your own brain waves shift when you're at the edge of transformation. The ancient blueprint of energetic gateways. Long before our modern words for energy, frequency, and vibration existed, entire civilizations built their lives around the understanding that reality was layered, and that certain moments acted as thresholds between those layers. The Egyptians called them the gates of the Duat, portals within the underworld journey of the soul. The Mayans tracked them through calendrical alignments, moments when time itself folded in on itself, creating openings to step beyond the ordinary. But these weren't just spiritual myths carved into stone. They were precise observational maps. Priests, shamans, and astronomers understood that these gateways weren't somewhere out there. They were mirrored inside the human mind and body. Modern neuroscience is now catching up to what they knew, that certain states of consciousness, especially the theta brainwave state, act like the unlock code for perception beyond our normal filters. Bruce Lipton speaks of cellular receptivity, how our very biology changes in response to environment, not just in the physical sense, but in the energetic one. Picture each cell like a keyhole, and your emotional state as the key. When the key matches, the lock turns, and a new level of reality becomes accessible. That's why ancient initiates prepared not only their minds, but their bodies before approaching a gateway, fasting, meditating, breathing in ways that shifted their internal rhythm until it matched the opening they were about to enter. And here's the part that bridges ancient wisdom to your everyday life. These gates are not limited to temples, mountains, or sacred caves. They can appear in your morning commute, in the quiet moment before you answer a call, in the sudden pause you feel walking past a stranger. The outer form may be ordinary, but the inner pattern, the way your energy aligns, is the same. Let me give you an example. A woman in a modern city begins waking up at exactly 3:33 a.m. every night. She dismisses it at first as stress. But then she starts noticing that her dreams are more vivid, her thoughts more restless, her decisions more urgent. She later learns that this period coincided with a rare cosmic alignment, something her ancestors might have marked on their own sacred calendar. The portal wasn't in the sky, it was in her, triggered by a rhythm she didn't consciously track. Pause for a moment. Imagine that your life has its own hidden calendar, with days and hours quietly marked as moments of passage. Some of them may have already come and gone. Others are approaching now. You may not see them, but your inner field does. And when your frequency is in harmony with them, you are standing before the gateway, whether you realize it or not. And now we're going to dismantle one of the most persistent illusions people hold about these portals. And it's the very thing that keeps them from stepping through. We'll talk about why these openings rarely look the way you think they will, and why life's disruptions might be the most accurate signal that you're already at the door. Breaking the expectation trap. Most people miss their portal not because it isn't there, but because it doesn't look the way they imagined. We've been conditioned by stories, by mystical imagery, by the idea that a spiritual opening must arrive as a vision in the clouds, a flash of light, or an overwhelming wave of bliss. But the truth is far more uncomfortable and far more powerful. Portals rarely appear as moments of beauty. More often, they arrive disguised as disruption. A job unexpectedly ends. A relationship you thought was solid cracks apart, plans unravel, and in that unraveling, your energy is loosened from the old patterns that kept you bound to a single timeline. It's not the collapse that is the portal. It's the space that opens in you the moment after, when you realize you cannot return to what was. Think of it like a tectonic shift in the soul. The ground beneath you doesn't just tremble, it rearranges itself. On the surface, it feels like loss. But underneath, something new is forming, a passage that was never visible while your life was stable. Crisis, as counterintuitive as it sounds, is often the most accurate indicator that you are standing at the threshold. Let me give you a story. Years ago, a woman lost her partner in a sudden accident. For months, she moved through the fog of grief, unable to see beyond the emptiness. It was only years later, looking back, that she realized the moment of loss had also been the moment her deepest spiritual sight began to open. In the absence of what she had relied on, she began to feel and see patterns she'd never noticed. An intuitive knowing that guided her toward the work she does now, helping others navigate their own thresholds. She hadn't missed the portal after all. She had walked through it without recognizing the doorway. You've seen this in your own life too, though you may not have named it. That time when the familiar suddenly dissolved, leaving you in a place you didn't choose. Yet in hindsight, you can see it was the very place that reshaped you. These moments rarely come wrapped in clarity. They arrive with the raw edges of uncertainty, asking you to trust a path you cannot yet see. Pause now and breathe. Feel into a moment in your life when everything changed, not slowly, but with the suddenness of a slammed door. What if that was not the end you thought it was, but the invisible entrance to the next chapter of your soul's journey? In the next section, we're going to explore what actually happens when you cross this kind of threshold, not in metaphor, but in the energetic mechanics of it. We'll talk about the physics of passage, why coherence between your heart and mind is essential, and how you can stabilize your state long enough to take that step without losing your balance. The physics of passage. Crossing a portal is not about moving through physical space. It's about shifting into a different vibrational reality. In quantum physics, there's a phenomenon called quantum tunneling, where a particle passes through an energy barrier it technically shouldn't be able to cross without using the normal route. No climbing over, no breaking through. It simply appears on the other side. Your soul can do the same. When a portal appears, you are standing before an invisible barrier made of your own current state of being. Everything you believe about who you are, everything you feel about what's possible, forms the shape of that barrier. To pass through, you don't force your way in. You match the vibration of what's on the other side. That's where coherence comes in. Coherence is when your heart and mind are no longer pulling in different directions. Your thoughts aren't saying one thing while your body feels another. They're moving as one field. Heart coherence, measured scientifically, literally changes your electromagnetic signature, the same signature that interacts with what physicists call the quantum field. When the two align, the barrier dissolves and the passage opens. Here's the process. Pause now, and if you want, close your eyes. Bring to mind something that makes you feel deeply grateful, not in theory, but in your body. A person, a place, a moment you'd relive if you could. Feel it until your breath slows. Then add to that a clear mental picture of the life or the self you sense on the other side of your current moment. Let those two vibrations, gratitude and vision, overlap. That state is the key. I've seen this work in ways that defy logic. People who were trapped in the same patterns for decades found that when they entered this state regularly, circumstances began to rearrange themselves. Calls came at the right time. Opportunities appeared that hadn't been there before. From the outside, it looked like luck. From the inside, it was resonance. But here's the part that makes this challenging. The moment you approach coherence, the pull of your old life, what I call the matrix pull, will try to draw you back. This isn't just social distraction, it's an energetic gravity designed to keep you in the familiar. That's why we're going to talk about how to protect your passage. You'll learn how ancient monastic traditions sealed their focus and intention, and how you can apply those methods in a modern, everyday life to keep yourself from being pulled away just as you're about to step through. Protecting the passage from the matrix pull. When you are close to a portal, the world doesn't always cheer you on. In fact, it often tries to pull you back into the noise you've been trying to rise above. The matrix pull isn't just a poetic idea, it's the constant hum of societal distraction, energetic manipulation, and emotional static that keeps you anchored to the familiar. And here's the truth. The closer you are to crossing, the stronger that pull can become. Ancient monastic traditions understood this well. Before entering sacred initiations, monks would seal their focus through intentional isolation, not as an escape from the world, but as a way to quiet the external noise long enough to hear the inner signal. They practiced breath rhythms to steady the mind, mantras to hold the vibrational key, and visualizations to lock their energy field so it wouldn't scatter. These weren't rituals for show. They were functional tools for holding the doorway open until the moment of crossing. In our modern lives, we don't have stone temples on mountaintops, but we do have our own environments to shape. Protecting your passage can be as simple as creating spaces and times in your day where your focus cannot be hijacked. No phone, no constant input, no conversations that drain you. It's also about becoming conscious of false portals, opportunities that glitter with promise but leave you feeling smaller, heavier, or more depleted than before. If a supposed opening costs you your peace or your integrity, it isn't the right doorway. Pause for a moment and think about the last time you felt on the edge of something new, but the noise of life pulled you back. Was it a sudden crisis that demanded your attention? Was it someone close to you casting doubt, even without meaning to? The matrix pull can come dressed as urgency, as obligation, as being realistic. It can sound reasonable, but its effect is always the same. It turns your gaze away from the threshold. This is where awareness becomes armor. When you can name the forces trying to pull you back, they lose some of their grip. And when your focus is sealed, the pull no longer feels like a command. It becomes just another background sound you can choose to ignore. Together, we'll explore what I call the portal within the portal. The hidden initiation that begins after you step through. Because crossing is not the end of the journey, it's the beginning of the real work, sustaining your new frequency when the outer world hasn't caught up yet. The portal within the portal. Crossing the threshold is not the grand finale people imagine. In many ways, it's the prologue. The first door always leads to another, and once you step into this new space, you quickly realize that the work of aligning with it has only just begun. Edgar Cayce often spoke of initiations of the soul, not as single moments of enlightenment, but as layered processes where each step forward reveals a new test, a new refinement, a new demand for authenticity. When you first pass through, there's often a rush, a sense of expansion, clarity, even euphoria. But soon after, the outer world begins to look exactly the same. The people, the streets, the responsibilities, unchanged. And this can be the hidden challenge, sustaining the frequency of where you are internally, even when nothing around you confirms it. Let me give you an example. Imagine moving into a new home, but the furniture from your old place was delivered there first. You're in a different space, but you're surrounded by the same familiar objects. It takes deliberate effort to bring in new pieces, arrange them differently, and let the old ones go. Energetically, it's the same. The environment of your life will try to settle you back into old patterns unless you actively realign your choices, your habits, your thoughts, with the vibration of the new reality. Here's where many turn back without even realizing it. They think the portal didn't work because their surroundings didn't instantly transform. But the truth is, the portal worked perfectly. It's now inviting you to become the person who can live at that frequency until the outer world inevitably reshapes itself to match. Pause now and feel into this. Sustaining a frequency isn't about constant effort. It's about constant choice. Every interaction, every decision is either feeding the field you've stepped into or pulling you back toward the one you left behind. This is why the initiation after crossing can feel even more challenging than the step itself. You are being asked to embody the change, not just experience it. In the next and final section, we'll anchor everything you've heard today. We'll return to the reason you were chosen, and I'll invite you to take your place as the gatekeeper of your own passage. Not just for this moment, but for every threshold you'll meet from now on, claiming your role as gatekeeper. You were chosen for this moment, but being chosen is not a passive destiny. It's an active choice you make over and over again to stand at the threshold and step forward. The portal is here because your frequency called it here. And if you felt that pull in your body during this journey we've shared today, then you already know this is not random. This is alignment. Taking your place as a gatekeeper means living in conscious relationship with your own openings. It means noticing when your life begins to shift, not dismissing it, not rushing to fix it, but holding space for the possibility that what feels uncertain might be the very passage you've been waiting for. It also means aligning your daily actions with the energy of that threshold. This isn't about perfection, it's about choosing moment by moment to feed the vibration you want to live in. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, what would it look like to truly live as the keeper of your own portals? Maybe it's saying no to the distractions that dim your light. Maybe it's speaking the truth you've avoided. Maybe it's finally trusting the rhythm your soul has been moving to all along. Whatever it is, it's yours to claim. No one else can do it for you. If you felt this message in your bones, write in the comments, I am ready to open my portal. And not as a performance, but as an anchor. Because words spoken into shared space have weight, and weight changes the field. And if you've walked with me through this entire journey, thank you. Thank you for your presence, for your energy, for your willingness to walk together through a conversation that lives deeper than words. If you enjoyed this, let me know in the comments. Leave a like if this spoke to you and subscribe to join our community, because this is only the first step. There's much more to discover, and the next video I prepared will take you even further along this path. Watch it next and keep walking with me. Remember, you are not at the mercy of the outer world. You are the field that transforms what vibrates around you, and the reality you've been waiting for, it begins where your old pattern ends.